Well, that was a little fun for a Thursday, for Tiptoe Thursday. Little Tiny Tim on laughing. I can't beat it, right? Rowan and Martin's laughing. I mean, I grew up with that show. Just, it's our era. I just loved it. I love that video. I thought it was Tiny Tim at his best. So great to see everyone. I'll play it again at the end of the call if you want to. It was really a lot of fun to listen to that. Hi, Darla, Carl, Lynn, great to see everybody. Not sure what happened to Deborah. Maybe she was just stuck in here from yesterday. Dawn, thank you for the coffee. Oh, it's just so delicious. I hope you don't mind if I just take a moment and be present with my coffee. Can you smell it? I drank about half of it, but there's luscious, delicious dark roast coffee. Life isn't a tiptoe through the tulips, is it? When you talk to somebody who's dying, a lot of people talk about this. A lot of people have done studies on it. A lot of people have gone and talked to people who are dying. Their biggest wish isn't that they had more money or more things. Their biggest wish is that they'd done more things, that they'd spent more time with the people that they love, that they'd done more things that was fun. I'm in love with my coffee, but not as much as I'm in love with my keyboard. Okay, did I mention that? I don't think I've mentioned today. I do see fingerprints on here, but I really think that the letters are not going to wear off. Wow, look at all that scratchy. I cut my nails. Now I'm like a machine on my keyboard. Really love my keyboard. I do. I'm going to have to take it away and clean it now. I'm obsessed with it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because it gives me so much pleasure. And really that's what life is all about, right? So I'm happy to report I sent a message to my friend. Remember, I had dinner with my friend who needed some counseling, and I recommended that she do her book of positive aspects, and she said things are definitely better. Isn't that wonderful? Now, we're going to continue reading our book. How's everyone doing today? Carl, how are those visualizations going? Yeah, she said things are better with her and her husband, and she's really trying to write down all the things she loves about him. And I said, keep focused on that. Just keep your thoughts on that. Life is about looking at what you enjoy and enjoying what you're doing no matter what it is. Just realizing whatever this is that you're doing right now, number one, where you are right now is a result of everything you've been thinking in the past. That much you understand, correct? Yeah, I know you do. So we're going to continue on with our wonderful book, The Tao of Pooh, and we are on page 129. We're talking about that sort of bear. He says, I can visualize, but making legs do different. They are weak. Okay, so Carl, stop trying to make your legs do anything. You're missing the whole point of visualizing, all right? I'm not telling you to make your legs do anything. I simply want you to spend a little bit of time, twice a day, closing your eyes and picturing that you have no illness. That's all. I don't want you to be thinking, but my legs are weak. I really can't do that. I'm trying to visualize, but my legs are weak, so I can't stand up. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to visualize that you have no illness. Do you understand that? It takes practice. Okay? I don't want you visualizing yourself trying to get up. That wasn't what I said yesterday, was it? Pay attention, Carl. Remember, I'm the tough soldier here. You want to get better. So you need to do this right. You cannot think of yourself as weak. You are not weak. You are healthy. In your visualization, remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and doing it for real. So in your visualization, you have no illness. When you lay down, I want you to lay down and go into your little meditation, take a big breath, and I just want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture yourself. I walked you through this yesterday. Close your eyes. I want you to picture yourself getting out of bed. I don't want you to do it. I want you to picture it. There's a difference, Carl. Twice a day, I want you to visualize rolling over on your side from your back, sitting up on your butt, feet dangling off the side of the bed, putting your slippers on, whatever, standing up, going to the bathroom, doing your business, coming back to bed. Visualize as you get better at it, having a shower, getting up, getting out of bed, just like I said, and you have to go through the whole process. Yeah. All right, you didn't take it wrong. You're just new to this, okay, Carl? So that's why I recognized that when you said that my legs are weak, that the visualization, you have to think of this as your visualization as your imagination run wild. And there's nothing you can't imagine, right? It's like reading a book, a fairy tale. I want you to think of it as a fairy tale, okay? Does that make more sense? There's nothing wrong in your visualization, ever. And if there is, then you need to change the visualization. Maybe write it down first. But do you get the visualization I'm wanting you to have? I want you to just close your eyes and picture yourself getting out of bed, standing up like you just like you normally would. I want you to picture yourself rolling over, sitting up, dangling your feet over the side of the bed, putting your slippers on, standing up, putting your house coat on, go walking into the kitchen, making yourself a cup of coffee. I can picture it. Can you? Can you picture that, Carl? Without limitations. I just want you to picture it twice a day. Okay? Good stuff. We ended with, now Piglet, as we know, is a very small animal and not exactly the bravest one at that. But when Owl's house fell down, Piglet discovered that he had more courage than he had thought he had. Hello, Owl, said Pooh. We're on page 129. I hope we're not too late how are you, Owl? Piglet and I just came to see how you were, because it's Thursday. Sit down, Pooh, sit down, Piglet, said Owl kindly. Make yourselves comfortable. They thanked him and made themselves as comfortable as they could. Because you see, Owl, said Pooh, we've been hurrying so as to be in time so as to see you before we went away again. Owl nodded solemnly. Correct me if I'm wrong, he said, but am I right in supposing that it is a very blusterous day outside? Very, said Piglet, who was quietly thawing his ears and wishing that he was safely back in his own house. I thought so, said Owl. It was on just such a blusterous day as this that my Uncle Robert, a portrait of whom you see upon the wall on your right, Piglet, while returning in the late forenoon from what's that? There was a loud cracking noise. Look out, cried Pooh. Mind the clock. Out of the way, Piglet. Piglet, I'm falling on you. Help, cried Piglet. Pooh, said Piglet nervously. Yes, said one of the chairs. Where are we? I'm not quite sure, said the chair. Are we in Owl's house? I think so, because we were just going to have tea and we hadn't had it. Oh, said Piglet. Well, did Owl always have a letterbox in his ceiling? So I should see a little picture here of the house falling down. But after the chair was pulled off Pooh and he had taken a look around, he came up with a plan. Owl would fly up to the letterbox with a piece of string and push the string through the wire in the basket and fly down again. And then Piglet would hold on to one end of the string while Pooh and Owl pulled on the other end. And there Piglet is, said Owl, if the string doesn't break. Supposing it does, says Piglet, wanting to know. Then we try another piece of string. This was not very comforting to Piglet, because however many pieces of string they tried pulling him up with, it would always be the same, him coming down. But still, it did seem the only thing to do. So with one last look back in his mind at all the happy hours he'd spent in the forest, not being pulled up to the ceiling by a piece of string, Piglet nodded bravely at Pooh and said that it was a very clever plan. And at last, he squeezed and he squoze, and then with one last squooze, he was out. happy and excited, he turned round to squeak a last message to the prisoners. "It's all right," he called through the letterbox. Your tree is blown over, Owl, and there's a branch across the door. But Christopher Robin and I can move it, and we'll bring a rope for Pooh, and I'll go and tell him now, and I can climb down quite easily, and I mean, it's dangerous, but I can do it all right, and Christopher Robin and I will be back in about a half an hour. Goodbye, Pooh." And without waiting to hear Pooh's answering, "Goodbye and thank you, Piglet," he was off. "Half an hour," said Owl, settling himself comfortably. "That will just give me time to finish that story I was telling you about my Uncle Robert, a portrait of whom you see underneath you. Now, let me see, where was I? Oh, yes, it was just on just such a blusterous day as this that my Uncle Robert—" "Owl said you wanted to see me," said Pooh. "All right, Pooh. Why the boxes of shoes in the closet?" "I couldn't help myself," said Pooh. "How's that?" "Well, first there was the card for Mr. Pooh Bear. Then when I got to the store, just for a look, yes, the salesman was so nice to me. 'May I help you, sir?' he said. He made me feel important." "Pooh, you didn't need those shoes." "I'll take them back," said Pooh. "That's better. Lots of people will be taking things back too, I suppose." "What? I saw lots of people there buying things they didn't really need, all over the store." "Quite likely," I said. "I wasn't the only one," he said. "Of course not, Pooh. A lot of people try to buy happiness and importance in the same sort of way. But you can be happy and important without doing that, you know." "So can they," said Pooh. Anyone here know people who try to buy their happiness? Well, yes, that's true. So can anyone. Despite what Eeyore once said, when it comes to enjoying life and making use of who we are, all of us can. It's just that some don't. Sitting contented by Walden Pond a few years ago, a wise observer wrote, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. The desperation may have been quiet then, we suppose. Now it's deafening. But we don't have to be a part of it. We can stop our desperate clinging to hollow life substitutes and set ourselves free. When we make the first move, the process will begin." And that brings us to Tiddly-Palm Principle, which comes from a song by Pooh. "The more it snows, Tiddly-Palm, the more it goes, Tiddly-Palm, the more it goes, Tiddly-Palm, on snowing." It's sometimes referred to as the snowball effect, which can remind you of the time you pushed that little ball of snow along, and it got bigger and bigger until it got so big you couldn't stop it, and it rolled all the way down the hill and flattened the neighbor's car, and soon everyone was talking about the huge snowball that you let get completely out of control. And that may be why we prefer to think of it as the Tiddly-Palm Principle instead. Now, the principle can work negatively or positively. It can promote cynicism as easily as it can encourage hope. It can build hardened criminals or courageous heroes, stupid vandals or brilliant creators. The important thing is to make it work for yourself and for the benefit of others, or face the ugly consequences. Working with the Tiddly-Palm Principle, you use respect to build respect. The more it snows, the more it goes. So Pooh hummed it to him, all the 7 verses, and Piglet said nothing, but just stood and glowed. Never before had anyone sung ho for Piglet. Piglet, ho, all by himself. When it was over, he wanted to ask for one of the verses over again, but didn't quite like to. It was the verse beginning, "O gallant Piglet." and it seemed to him a very thoughtful way of beginning a piece of poetry. "Did I really do all that?" he said at last. "Well," said Pooh, "in poetry, in a piece of poetry, well, you did it, Piglet, because the poetry says you did, and that's how people know." "Oh," said Piglet, "because I thought I did blinch a little just at first, and it says, 'Did he blinch?' No, no, that's why." "You only blinched inside," said Pooh, "and that's the bravest way for a small animal not to blinch that there is." Piglet sighed with happiness and began to think about himself. He was brave. Just trying to see if I got time. I think I got time to finish this. So that later, when uninformed Eeyore discovered a new house for Owl to move into, and it turned out to be Piglet's. Just the house for Owl. Don't you think so, little Piglet? Just the house for Owl. And then Piglet did a noble thing, and he did it in a sort of dream while he was thinking of all the wonderful words Pooh had hummed about it. "Yes, it's just the house for Owl," he said grandly, "and I hope he'll be very happy in it." And then he gulped twice because he had been very happy in it himself. "What do you think, Christopher Robin?" asked Eeyore a little anxiously, feeling that something wasn't quite right. Christopher Robin had a question to ask first, and he was wondering how to ask it. "Well," he said at last, "it's a very nice house, and if your own house is blown down, you must go somewhere else, mustn't you, Piglet?" "What would you do if your house was blown down?" Before Piglet could think, Pooh answered for him. "He'd come and live with me," said Pooh. "Wouldn't you, Piglet?" Piglet squeezed his paw. "Thank you, Pooh," he said. "I should love to." Do you want to be really happy? You can begin by being appreciative of who you are and what you've got. Do you want to be really miserable? You can begin by being discontented. As Lao Tzu wrote, "A tree as big around as you can reach starts with a small seed. 1,000-mile journey starts with one step." Wisdom, happiness, and courage are not waiting somewhere out beyond sight at the end of a straight line. They're part of a continuous cycle that begins right here. They're not only the ending, but the beginning as well. The more it snows, the more it goes, and the more it goes on snowing. Lao Tzu described it this way: "It is widely recognized that the courageous spirit of a single man can inspire to victory an army of thousands. If one concerned with ordinary gain can create such an effect, how much more will be produced by one who cares for greater things?" Applause, a toast to gallant Piglet and fearless Pooh. Sing ho for Piglet, Piglet ho, sing ho for Piglet ho, and sing ho for Bear, sing ho for a Pooh, sing ho for the life of a bear. When they had all nearly eaten enough, Christopher Robin banged on the table with his spoon. And everybody stopped talking and was very silent, except Roo, who was just finishing a loud attack of hiccups and trying to look as if it were one of Rabbit's relations. "This party," said Christopher Robin, "is a party because of what someone did, and we all know who it was. And it's his party because of what he did, and I have a present for him, and here it is." Then he felt about a little and whispered, "Where is it?" While he was looking, Eeyore coughed in an impressive way and began to speak. "Friends," he said, including oddments, "it is a great pleasure, or perhaps I had better say, it has been a pleasure so far to see you at my party. What I did was nothing. Any of you, except Rabbit and Owl and Kanga, would have done the same. Oh, and Pooh, my remarks do not, of course, apply to Piglet and Roo, because they are too small. Any of you would have done the same, but it just happened to be me, It was not, I need hardly say, with an idea of getting what Christopher Robin is looking for now. And he put his right leg to his mouth and said in a loud whisper, "Try under the table." That I did what I did because I feel that we should all have to do what we can to help. I feel that we should all... Yes. Well, anyway, here it is, cried Christopher Robin excitedly. Pass it down to silly old Pooh, for it's for Pooh. For Pooh, said Eeyore. Of course it's for Pooh, because he's that sort of bear. Just what makes Pooh so special anyway, said Eeyore indignantly. Well, Eeyore, if you read the next chapter, you may find out, I said. Oh, if we must, said Eeyore. And the next chapter is Nowhere and Nothing. And then we have the now of Pooh. So we'll probably, tomorrow's Thursday, right? Monday is a holiday in Canada, but I do believe that we will still be here at Morning Motivator. So I suspect we'll be finished this book on Monday, and I haven't even thought of where we're going from here. My goodness. Wow. Well, I will let something come to me and let you know. We may just have a free-for-all for the rest of next week. Just do some short stories. Yes, today is Thursday. That's right. Tomorrow is Friday, and so I will begin reading the next chapter, but I don't think we'll finish it until Monday. Today is Thursday. That's right. Did I say it was Friday? I was talking about tomorrow because I'm just looking at what we have left to read in the book. And we're going to be at least 2 days, maybe 3. And I'm just thinking when we're done that, number one, I will think of what we're going to read next. Number 2, we'll just share some short stories next week. Get you guys to come up and share. We're going to be really pushing Carl to be doing... Oh, I said tomorrow was Thursday. Okay, well, you guys know what I mean, right? That's what it's all about. You guys, as long as you guys know what I mean, we're all good. Mindfulness. Being happy. We can all have it. We can all do it. We can all be special, right? Where was that? It is widely recognized that the courageous spirit of a single man can inspire to victory an army of thousands. If one concerned with ordinary gain can create such an effect, how much more will be produced by one who cares for greater things? We are all special. Each and every one of us, in our own way. We are all individuals. Oh, something in my eye. There, I think I finally got it out. It's driving me crazy. There we go. We had lunch with my brother yesterday, and 2 years ago, there was a horrific event here in Calgary. A young man stabbed to death 5 other of his peers. They were all in their early 20s, university students. And the young man his trial is beginning, and it's a really sad time for the family because they're remembering all these horrific events, and they're remembering the horrific events. It's really hard not to. The loss of their children, the loss of their brothers, sisters, friends. It really was a horrific event. And we were having a conversation with my brother, and I said to him that I feel mostly for the young man's family and for the young man. I mean, the young man is not mentally well. He has some mental issues. The parents were aware of it, and my brother said, but I blame the father, he says, because the father knew. The father was about to have the child committed because he knew that he was having some challenges, and he knew that that was the right thing to do, but he hadn't done it yet. He was stalling, and I said, until you put yourself in his shoes, you can't know what you would do. And it's a sad event that happened. And everybody has to live with the outcome of that, but you can't put yourself in someone else. There is no blame here. This is about finding out what was wrong, and out of this, others will be able to notice those signs in people. Mental illness is a challenge for individuals. It really is. We all know that as we work together. Can you see the challenges that you all have on a daily basis just to stay focused on happy things, to not stay focused on what's wrong? So can you imagine when the brain isn't working quite right? It's a difficult thing. And I think in all that we've learned here in being mindful in tragedies, that we can't go there. We can't go for the blame. I mean, we're looking for things to blame for a horrible situation, and we just can't. It's where we need to bring ourselves back to life and recognize that we are all special, right? So, Carl, I really want to remind you about your visualizations, and I think you have a better idea of it, and I think we're going to talk some more about that after our meditation. Now, Lynn shared with me I think it's a 13-minute and a bit meditation. Just let me look here. I did put it up in the room. 13 and a half minutes. It's called Loving Kindness Meditation to Develop Mindfulness and Compassion. And I'm wondering if you guys would all like to do that today. And Carl, do you have a better understanding of what we're talking about when we're talking about our thoughts and our visualizations? We don't want to visualize ourselves ill. We want to visualize ourselves well. And so when we're doing our meditations, we want to make sure that we're thinking thoughts that feel good. How do we tell? That one's easy, right? Because you don't feel good, or you do. All right, Loving Kindness Meditation to Develop Mindfulness. Let me grab the link for you guys who may not be able to play it. And about 13 and a half minutes. Well, we're gonna talk more after the call. I just really want you, Carl. I'm picking on you. I hope that's okay, because we're all benefiting from it. That's the beauty of this. So I want you to just take a big breath before we even get into the meditation, Carl. And I want you to just allow yourself to visualize that wonderful man getting up who's healthy. I want you to visualize health in your body as we do this loving kindness meditation. We'll see you guys back here in about 13 and a half minutes. Well, that was purely wonderful, was it not? Did you guys enjoy that? And with what we were talking about today, didn't it? It's all good stuff. Thank you, Lynn. While we're in this state of amazingness, let's take a moment to do our affirmation for today. I lovingly balance my mind and my body. I now choose thoughts that make me feel good. Carl, my friend, keep your eyes closed, my friend, or close your eyes. I want you to picture yourself. I'm not sure if you're laying on your bed right now or sitting up, Carl, but if you're laying on your bed, it makes it easier. If not, picture yourself laying on your bed, on your back. Picture yourself rolling over onto your side, pushing yourself up, dangling your feet over the side of the bed. Feel your feet touch the floor. Feel yourself sitting up straight. Feel yourself getting up, putting your slippers on, putting your house coat on, making your way into your kitchen to make yourself a cup of coffee. That's all I want you to visualize. And I would want you to visualize making I don't know if you drink coffee. Whatever you drink in the morning, picture yourself making that beverage. Now come back in the room, open your eyes, and let me know if you want me to go through that again. Because I need you to practice that visualization and to get as detailed as you can. Not see the weaknesses, but just visualize yourself. Just close your eyes. Picture yourself. I mean, I can picture it. Picture yourself getting up out of bed, standing, putting your slippers on, whatever you do, standing up. Big breath. Wow. Big stretch. Put your house coat on. Heading into the kitchen, making a cup of coffee. Did I lose you, Carl? Are you there? Good. That's what you need to be doing. You need to just picture yourself getting up, going in and making your coffee, and you need to practice it until it feels normal. Sometimes it's going to take practice because it's been a while since you've been able to do that. So you need to forget that you can't do it, you see. Because in your mind you're still thinking, but my legs are weak. I can't stand that long. But this isn't about your legs. It's not about your current situation. This is pretending in your mind, having a dream that you are. Because in your dream you can do anything you want, yes? Have you all had dreams? Anybody here ever had lucid dreams? Where you actually recognize you're dreaming? And if you're dreaming, you can do anything you want. So this is like dreaming. It's just a visualization. We're going to play, we're playing a game with your mind. Do you get that, Carl? We're playing a game with your mind, and I want you to feel really good about it. So always make sure before you do your visualization that you get into a relaxed, happy state. Okay, so it's best to do it right after the meditation like we did today, or even if you just take a few cleansing breaths and just close your eyes and visualize getting out of bed, because it's such an easy thing to visualize, isn't it? Don't you think? Can you all visualize that? Just curious. I remember when I had a back that was not healthy. I was in a lot of pain all the time, 24/7. I could get into a position in bed where it didn't hurt, but if I stayed in that position too long, it would act. I mean, I was just always in pain. I learned to manage the pain. I learned to deal with it. I learned what to do with my body so that I could cope, and I did. And one day I woke up and I had no pain. And I know that when I had pain, that every day I dreamed of being healthy. I didn't dream of having a bad back. I dreamed of doing things I used to do before I hurt my back. Dawn's never known me without a hurt back. I heard it like a month before I met Dawn, poor guy. In fact, he met me when I was probably at its worst. In fact, he has. He's known me through all of the worst of it. Thank goodness that he was there for it, because it's because of him I came through it with it not hurting anymore. Okay, it's been a long time since I've had a bad back. It gets sore once in a while. I do too much. I pick up my grandson and I do silly things when I act like I'm 20. Sometimes it's sore, but you know what? It hasn't ever come back because I don't visualize that anymore. And when it's there, it's like, no. So practice, Carl. Okay? Anybody want to come up today? I was looking for my book. There it is. I really like this book, Day by Day with James Allen. There's some really good quotes in here, and I really love his say on things. And at the back of the book is a copy of As a Man Thinketh. If you do a search online for As a Man Thinketh, you'll find the file. Grab it. We've read it on the call. I might read it again. I have lots of stars, lots of underlines on this. It's just, I mean, look at this page. It's got star. Here's a little poem in here. Let's read this poem. It's on this section on effect of thought on circumstances. You will be what you will to be. Let failure find its false content in that poor word, environment. But spirit scorns it, and it is free. It masters time, it conquers space, it cows that boastful trickster chance, and bids the tyrant circumstance uncrown and fill a servant's place. The human will, that force unseen, the offspring of deathless soul, can hew a way to any goal, though walls of granite intervene. Be not impatient in delay, but wait as one who understands. When spirit rises and commands, the gods are ready to obey. How's that for a poem? Do you get what the poem is saying? You will be what you will to be. Carl, do you full on believe that if you practice those visualizations that one day you will actually get out of bed and go walk in the kitchen and make coffee? At this point, is there some part of you is there some sense of belief that if you practice that, it could come true? I'm really putting you on the spot, aren't I, Carl? You will be what you will to be. I'm just curious on that, how strong is your belief, Carl, that if you practice that visualization every day, if you practice it even just once in the morning before you get out of bed, once at night when you go to bed, maybe when you go to bed you can lay in bed and picture yourself, doing your nighttime routine. But I really need to picture you being healthy. Hey, Claudia. Did I lose you, Carl? I hope not. I hope we've made a breakthrough today, Carl. I hope that you're really, and you may be in a state of awe right now. I will be back, that I will walk not far. Okay, Carl, we got to change your mindset. Okay? You are really stuck on the fact that you're ill. And we're going to change that. I don't ever want to hear that. I will be back. That I will walk. Not far, but at least I'll try to get rid of that. Do you see what I'm saying, Carl? Do you see how stuck you are on the fact that you are ill? Carl, how can it scare you in your imagination? If you're afraid in your imagination, you're never going to imagine yourself walking. You need to imagine it real. When we did the visualization, were you scared? Were you able to do the visualization without being scared? It's just a dream. You're just imagining it. You're not actually moving. So, Carl, I'm going to ask you again. I need you to get over yourself, okay, Carl? Because you're really stuck on yourself, and you've just got this wall up, and you're not hearing anything I said. Okay, so you were not scared in your visualization. Carl, will you do that visualization twice a day and not be scared? All I'm asking you to do is, I'm asking you, do you believe, because you were able to visualize it, okay, twice a day, do you believe that if you, and I don't really want you to do anything else other than that visualization twice a day. Now, yes, you're going to get up, you're going to practice moving for a second, you're going to stand up, sit down, you're going to stand up, sit down. Whatever it is you can do, you're going to do it regularly. You're going to do it in safety, and you're going to do a little bit more every day. Okay, Carl? Agreed? You're not going to get up and walk to the bathroom tomorrow. Or you're not going to get up and walk to the kitchen tomorrow. Well, you might. All right? There's a difference here. There's a difference between what you're going to do in real life and this visualization. So what I want from you right now, do you believe, Carl, that if you do those visualizations and you play along with Janet, that there's a chance that you could walk again? I just want to know if you believe that there is that possibility. That if you play along with me and you play this game, that you could retrain your brain to allow you to walk. Okay, good. Good. We just have to change your thinking. So, Carl, can you please put that sentence in there again? The sentence that says, I will be back. I will walk. I don't want to see the rest of it. That's all I want you to say. And I need you to recognize that you're doing that. Okay, Carl? That's the biggest thing right there, is that you need to lose that end. I will be back. I will walk. But not far. Okay? The same thing that if I visualize being a millionaire, I will become a millionaire. Yes? And Lynn, visualizing being a millionaire means closing your eyes and getting out of your bed in the morning in your luxurious master suite, opening the curtains and looking out at that view, your dream view, whatever it is. I mean, I've got mine in my head. It's just, it's so amazing. And then going into your luxurious spa-like bathroom and doing your thing, sitting out, opening up at the balcony, sitting on the comfortable swing porch that just snuggles me in there and just breathing in the air. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yes. If I visualize I will be happy, I will be happy. You have to get yourself into the state of feeling good and then do the visualization. Has this helped today, Carl? Because I'm going to be putting you on the spot again tomorrow. You know that, so I hope you show up, because if you don't, then I'm going to feel like I scared you away. I didn't scare Claudia away. I mean, I did it for a little while in the very beginning, but she came back. And she's glad she did. Right, Claudia? Almost. The waves crashing to the shore, the smell of the ocean coming in the window, all of it, okay? Whatever that is to you, to say, oh, this is what I'd love to be. This is where I would love to be. This is the ideal place. Yeah, breathe it in. Carl, play along with me. Type in the words. I will be back. I will walk again. That's it. That's all I want you to type. I will be back. I will walk again. And then practice your visualization. Okay? Remember, it's just your imagination, and in your imagination, you can do anything you want. There are no limitations. You can be as rich as you want. You can live anywhere you want. You can look however you want. You could be as strong as you want. You can be anything you want. Anything you want. So visualizing your house on the beach, Bonnie, same thing. Every morning, every night, I want you to visualize getting up out of bed in that house. Every day, I want you to visualize every morning getting up before you get out of bed. And before you go to bed at night, I want you to visualize getting up out of bed in your beach house. What's your routine? What do you do? You guys are awesome. So some of you were not here right at the beginning of the call, and this video is just so funny, and fun is what it's all about, because today is Tiptoe Tuesday, so I'm going to say just tiptoe through the tulips with Tiny Tim. This is the funniest I think I ever saw him, so enjoy this. I think it's like 2.5 minutes, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Carl? Remember, look at all of us here, okay? Carl, you are not alone. We are all Tiptoe Thursday. We are all in this with you. We visualize you walking through, making this happen. So we know you can do it. See you guys tomorrow.